Hi, good morning, all, and welcome back again to this episode of Beyond Fear podcast series. And we are actually discussing today a very specific thing about success in the corporate life when you're coming from a different field. And our guest today is Mr. Virend Nath, who comes from Fiji, and he has a background in accounting. He is currently leading. He is currently heading the one of Australia's leading recycling industry in Sydney. So help me welcome Mr. Virend Nath. Welcome, Virend, and thank you very much for your time on our podcast today.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Okay, so Virend, I know you are coming from a very different background. You have a background in accounting, and then you started your own venture in Sydney quite many years back. So, how long it has been since you started? How since you stepped into the recycling industry?
2013.
Oh wow! Okay, so now when you started this business, did any time you face any kind of thought when you started this? You were facing any kind of thoughts that will this work for me or will I be able to do that?
Well, my background is accounting, but after the uni, I joined a company called Price Coopers, and I was an auditor. And with that, I had a vast experience in accounting and auditing companies, from mining companies, wholesale, retail, and consulting. So my experience really counted when I started this business.
Well, so means you were comfortable that because this is a very different field of industry that people actually look at.
That's right.
Yeah, so you must have actually come up with some idea that okay, this is the industry I want to actually start up, and but then because you means your past experience was not in actual recycling.
No.
So you were sure, means how did you make yourself very sure and comfortable that yes, this is fine and I will go ahead with it?
Well, there was when I was doing, I was accountant here in Sydney. There was issues with the disposal of materials, tires, and other plastic issues. And I knew in 2000, I knew there will be a disaster facing Australia. But Australian government did not pay much attention to that. But when I did a bit of a research, I found it is heading towards, Australia is heading towards disaster. Because Australia was outsourcing everything overseas, and they're putting a blind eye on this, all these products which is being dumped. And just by chance, I went to Canada. And from Canada, I was passing by. On the side of the road, I saw a big recycling company and mountains of tires. And I stopped. I got my cousin to stop the car, and I just knocked the door. Factory said, "Hey, what is this tire?" I said. Then they told me, Then I because I caught them off guard. But then the manager came out and they said, "We are doing tire recycling." I said, "Oh wow, what is this?" But tire recycling is not biodegradable. It takes 100 years to rot into the field. And said, "No, this is what we do. This is what we are trying to do." I said, "Oh, very interesting." And then from there, it inspired me to get into tire recycling, because there's a byproduct of tire recycling can be utilized everywhere. And since Australians, because basically I'm in Australia, so Australians were very ignorant about the byproduct of tires, where they can be utilized in all materials. I mean, not all materials, everywhere. Then I did another trip, me, my family, everything, basically holiday plus visits to all the recycling companies. So I went back to Canada, America, then I went to Europe. And then I saw the disaster in America. Oh, they were very ignorant. And then I went to Europe, ignorant. The best country was Germany and Denmark, where they were more into recycling and more into focused into recycle. That's where I got a lot of information. Then I came over. I mean, like that, of course, I came back. And it was just by chance I joined a company called Carbon Polymers. I became their financial controller. And Carbon Polymers was doing tire recycling. It was a public company. But that company was, should say, not a public company, because the way they were managing the company, it went and after 3 years I resigned from that company, but I gained a lot of knowledge from the Carbon Polymers company. And when I resigned, within 3 months the company collapsed. So it went into receivership, and then I said, no, this is the time, this is the thing. I'm not getting any job in accounting, because as I'm aging and now they want all the new generation coming in. So now I'm going to start my own business. I've been hit around here and there. So that's why we started. That's how I started the company. It's called BSV Tire Recycling. So financially, it was tough. And any company, when you start from zero, it's always capital. So it was tough for me. So we started from, basically, you can say, zero capital. Luckily, the person, Sam, he had a truck and he had a baling machine. So we sort of, that sort of gave us a boost. And now we have become one of the largest company in New South Wales.
This is really very inspiring story, Virend. Like coming from a place where you have no idea at all, and then you do yourself something, you do your research, and then you generate your beliefs, you strengthen them, and then you go ahead and talk to people, because there has been no base, as you mentioned, that there was no reference point for you to find out more about this industry, but your interest in environment, saving the environment, and how the tires are actually impacting the environment. So you enter into the corporate world of a tire recycling company, which is very different, which is and which is very niche area, in the sense that there have been recycling firms, but at the time when there is no reference point, you don't have anyone to guide you, and then you grow yourself. So that's a very inspiring story, and I think, yes, there are many things to learn from that. So in today's time now, when you are heading this firm, anytime, do you feel any sort of anxiety or stress while running the firm, while doing the while running and leading this business? And if yes, then how do you actually come out from that? What actually you do to come out of such things?
Well, we are very heavily regulated. It means to say, I say one of the recycling thing, any recycling company are very, very, very heavily regulated. First of all, Environmental Protection Authority is called EPA. Secondly, the government. Thirdly, the fire brigade, fire issues. So we have to comply, and we have to have a zero tolerance. So that is a major factor to be in the recycling company, especially tire. They are scared, and we are always scared that if it catches fire, and it's very hard to put that fire out. So that's why, to get this company running, that's why a lot of companies don't, a lot of people think of this company to do recycling. They don't want to do it because of the regulation. So I was focused. I applied for the council. I got a DA approved. I had to go to the EPA. I applied for the EPA license, and luckily it was in 2013. Now it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher. It's very hard to obtain the license. Though the government wants to do recycling, but to run the company, to get the authority, it's very hard. They make it so complicated. And as you said, day to day, yes, it's a very stressful operation. Very. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know when the EPA gonna come, and small thing they pick up on the small thing. And then what they do is they don't tell you. They say it's under regulation. They just fine you. They don't give you advice. They don't give you, okay, let's sit down and do these things. No, they just want the revenue.
Yes.
And here we are generating the revenue to implement and get more better machine, more equipment. But the EPA comes in, no, the minimum fine they've started is $15,000 each time you get a fine. So it goes to $1 million. It goes to 500,000. Depends what kind of thing. A small material you put in a different way where it doesn't comply with the town council, they're fining. Right. So it's just like a communist country. So they got a noose around our neck. So it becomes very tough. Day-to-day operation. I want to go on holidays, believe me. I can't, because if I leave this place, if the workers move something around, I'm gone. So basically, I'm married to this company. Yeah. So it becomes very hard. And financial-wise and the regulation-wise, as I said, it is very highly regulated.
Yes, but the thing that you actually want to make right and doing the right thing that you know you have to do. So that's anyway helping you out, and every time it helps.
It does. Basically, sometimes when I sleep, I have to analyze what I have to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's 24 hours, what to do, what something comes up, we really have to do. Now the government is about to pass in December, there's certain exports they have to ban. That they did not do the research first. This is where the drawback is. They haven't done the research. They haven't done anything, but they jump from zero to the top level. No, we're going to stop export. But the problem is there's so much of tires, just to let you know, in a daily basis here in New South Wales only, I collect 5,000 tires, end-of-life tires per day. Suppose if the government comes in December, say, no, you can't do this, this is regulated now. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the machine. What's going to happen? The tires going to be thrown on the road. There will be illegal dumping in the bush. Yeah. They haven't thought of those ideas. They haven't seen the scenario. But now they're saying no.
True. Yeah. So Virend, I would actually like to know that for today's generation who want to do something differently, what is one key message that you would actually like to give so that they become successful and they can do what they want?
Never give up. Be focused and always do your research. Always have a plan B and plan C. You cannot only concentrate on plan A where you are thinking, yes, I'm going to do it because you are focused to do it. But there's always something where it cannot happen. So, okay, you have done a plan B. So the plan B kicks in. So always have a scenario, because if you have only one direction,
yes,
like 90% of the business, they have only one direction. They don't see peripheral. They just see, they are very centrally focused. So when they're centrally focused, if something happens, it's a disaster.
Thanks, Virend. It has been a very powerful message that a plan B is absolutely necessary.
It is very necessary.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I would really like to express my gratitude to you, Virend, for taking out your valuable time, even when you are working today, for coming on the sets of this series. And thank you so much from my side and all of our audience side.
You are welcome.